if you look at luxury brands are always very simple. Their logos are super simple. Look at LV, you look at D&G, Calvin Klein, whatever. They're normally just initials, CKLV, or it's just a name, right? Dior, whatever. CD as the symbol. Oh,
Zohaib, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Pleasure, pleasure. Well, this is Zohaib. He's the owner of Zousz. It's a men's cosmetic brand. I'm John Klein, the host of Brand With here today. We're super excited to talk to Zohaib. He's going to talk to us. We're going to hear his elevator pitch, hear a little bit about his story, a little bit about his brand, and then we're going to knock into some good essential business knowledge that we're going to hear directly from him. So, Zohaib,
Cool. Thanks for having me on your show, first of all. Happy to be here. So yeah, I'm the founder of a luxury men's grooming brand called Zousz. Founded in 2016 actually, but we first launched in 2018. Took a few years to do research and getting into the market. We sell luxury grooming products essentially for men. But our vision is to really be the best at what we do. So we want to introduce luxury grooming products that awaken the senses, that make people feel confident, particularly men, because we're targeting our products to men. But essentially, we are looking to instill confidence and empower men who use our products, and that's really the goal, the vision of the brand. And the way we do that is through the products and through the quality of the products. We really wanted to stand out with how we present our products and almost kind of introduce like a bespoke feeling to the product so that it's made specifically for them. So our whole production and the way we work is we manufacture everything in small batches. A lot of it is sort of hand manufactured rather than mass made or mass produced. So there's a lot of nuance in the way we manufacture our products. And that's why I feel like we are like leading in the space in terms of the quality and what we have to offer. So my background is I started working as a chemist. So essentially I've got a master's degree in chemistry and I worked for about a decade in the pharmaceutical and cosmetics space. So that's manufacturing, that's quality assurance, that's QC, and that's development as well. So that's really my background, and that kind of leads on towards a bit of my experience in the men's grooming sector, because obviously I understand like how products are manufactured, what makes them good, how QC and QA all fit into the manufacturing process. So that's a bit about my background.
awesome, awesome. Give us a little deep dive into what Zousz is.
Yeah, essentially, so from a personal perspective, I wanted to always have my own company. I wanted to work my own time. I wanted to be my own boss, like all of those sort of normal stuff that comes with the territory of being an entrepreneur or a business owner. I wanted to not really rely or depend on working in industry. It's a big shift from working for a huge global, pharmaceutical company to starting a startup where it's just yourself. Um, but I always wanted to kind of challenge myself in that way, and I always had an interest in fashion and men's grooming, but particularly like fashion and how I'd say fashion and design. And so with the men's grooming brand or with the men's grooming space, I thought at the time, and still to this point, I just feel like a lot of the products out there are mass manufactured and mass made. Nothing's really, bespoke or unique or different. And that's where I felt I could bring something unique to the table. I wanted to create products that stood out, that looked different, products that essentially speak to me, because I felt like um, products that were on the market were just too generic and too boring, essentially. And I felt like I could bring something unique and special to the table. So that's kind of my reasoning for starting the company. And then at the time, the men's grooming brand and industry was really starting to take off. So I coupled all of those reasons and then just got to work and came up with the brand.
I think you told me some statistics before when we talked before about how men's grooming is progressing year over year. Do you have any numbers for that?
At the time when I was starting, I believe it was progressing a couple of maybe 200 or 300% a year in growth.
Oh,
So
oh wow.
it was,
Double
yeah,
or
it was
tripling.
it was at the time, it was from like 2012 to 2015, 2016. It was really growing, and there were so many brands that were just popping up. Like, you could just go to Google and see new brands, or Amazon, and you'd see a new brand every week just getting into the space. And even now, when I had a look at the brands that were there, I just felt like they were all doing the same stuff. It was all just generic, the same type of logo. They were all targeting like this kind of rugged Viking man type of branding, and I just felt like that just doesn't appeal to me. Like, why can't there just be a bit of a more luxury, nuanced, classy type of branding that I would want to wear or use? And so that's kind of where I began my research into the space, but also creating a brand that I felt resonated with me.
Mm. I also heard it's kind of like because men don't really do a lot of cosmetics, so there's not a lot of brands out there. And when we say cosmetic, I mean like a beard oil, um, hair gel, right? You do a face moisturizer,
Correct.
like a face wash, different stuff like that. And the beard oil is a big one. And not a lot of men have like a routine, right? They just kind of wake up and go. Um, as more the years have gone on, more and more men have decided, oh, I'm gonna better take better care of my face, put some moisturizer on and stuff like that. So with the woman side of it, that's like pretty much all women most of the time have their routine in the morning and at night, but the men don't. So it's kind of an untapped market, right, for advertising to them to take better care, look younger, longer, kind of thing, keep that manliness, right, with healthy skin. It's just healthy skin is always good. So that is really a blue ocean per se, with the right advertising, the right marketing. So that's I think that's a great industry, is the men's facial care and beard care, and I love that.
Yeah, what I would say is, so women from a young age, probably from their teenage years, they've women have a culture that's built in, especially in the Western culture, you could say, that they start using makeup from sort of 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever the age is. And that's sort of their passageway into becoming a woman, is to wearing makeup. And I think like that doesn't exist for men. Men may grow facial hair. Maybe that's the only sort of equivalent, but we won't use traditionally men haven't like gone from teenage to adult using cosmetics. Like we don't have that in our culture from teenager to becoming an adult. So it is sort of an untapped market, but then it's also a behavior that men don't have and that requires education and it requires an understanding of why men need these products because women do it because they want to look good. So it may be self-esteem, it may be something that's just part of being feminine, right? They wear makeup, they do their nails, whatever, do their hair. Whereas men don't really have that as such, and it's probably tied to masculinity.
Mm,
So I think there's an education piece there, but also I think that's changing now anyway. I think most men do wear sort of creams and stuff if they need to. So like sunscreen, men will wear if they're going on holiday or if it's really sunny, they'll wear some kind of UV cream protection. But generally speaking, they don't have a ritual, and that's the difference that we are elevating men with our products. We want to kind of have this idea of transformation, that we're transforming them from being messy or whatever when they wake up to being a gentleman, you could say,
mm,
looking good, smelling good, feeling good, being confident, feeling empowered when they leave the house every morning. That's really our
mm.
goal, and that's that transition that we aren't selling, but that's what we're providing.
Yeah. On this podcast, we like talking a lot about solution aware clients and problem aware clients. And with the solution awares, they know that a skincare routine is good for them and a beard routine is good for them. How do you target those solution aware clients?
We target it from a variety of different angles. So it just depends on the customer, right, or the avatar that we want to target. So one is the unaware, like we've already discussed. People who already are using cosmetics or skincare or beard care products, um, they're not using ours, and we believe that ours are infinitely better than the other products that are on the market.
Uh,
And we do that in a number of ways, or we educate the customer or potential customer in a number of ways. One is how the products are made. Um, a lot of our products are made by hand, or there are elements of hand production during the process. That's because the ingredients we use and the way our products are packaged are very different to a mass-produced product from the larger brands. So it's adding an element of luxury into the product, but it's also the way our product smells, the way it feels, and the way it's presented to the person. It's like when you get an Apple iPhone, like you're excited to open the product because of the way it's presented is like you can't beat, Apple when you open an iPhone or whatever. So we wanted to bring that kind of experience to like opening one of our products. And I feel like that's what we're presenting to people who already use grooming products.
mm, I like that. I like that. And then I know we talked about the, you know, unaware ones, but how do you target just the people that don't do cosmetics and how do you get them to be like, hey, I probably should start taking care of myself a little better?
It depends. We so it's something that we've tested as well, right? Right, like when we run ads, we will test a variety of different hooks and angles. So one is the product or the feature benefit. Like we could target the scent, and we could say like our scent is really unique because it is. It's sourced from South Asia. It goes through a long process. It's quite expensive. It takes a long time to develop. So one is the fragrance and the scent itself. Like it smells amazing. You'll get loads of compliments. It lasts a long time. It makes you feel good, makes you smell good. Like that's one angle. The other angle is actually the gifting angle, which is probably the biggest one that we use. Because a lot of our buyers are actually women, like
Mm.
60%
Oh,
are
right,
women.
right. Yeah, for
So they are,
gifts for their men.
yeah, so
Mm.
exactly. So they're buying it as a gift because our products are super giftable. They look good. It's like I was saying with the iPhone, like the packaging and the way it's presented is very giftable. And I don't think there are better looking products or men's grooming products than ours in this space. So that is also an angle that we lean on, and that's when we survey our customers, like, you know, I thought men would be the biggest buyers of our products, but it's more so women, like, and
Do you
then
have like
men,
a ratio on that, give or take?
it's about 60% on our Shopify store are women, yeah.
Yeah, wow, okay. Awesome. And so Shopify, okay, so you sell D2C, or do you do retail and Amazon as well?
Yeah, we do D2C, we do Amazon, and then we do a bit of B2B as well, and that's through barbershops. We're getting into more barbershops and like boutique retailers,
Mm.
gift stores. Yeah, those are kind of
So you're aiming for
our
like gift
main
stores. That
channels.
would be a good one, like gift stores. Are you thinking about ever going into big retailers or
I
you
think
like
we
the
will.
smaller barbershops?
Yeah, I think we will at some stage. I think it's just a progression.
Hmm.
I think we will at some stage. But I feel like right now, the people who are our best customers are people like barbershop, from a B2B perspective, are barbershops because they use it every day on their customers love it. And they just, buy more from us because their customers love the product and they can obviously resell it. So like go through that kind of uh B2B side of the business works good for us because they're our number one clients for using our products.
Quick. So let's talk a little about manufacturing. I know that you have a company put these products together in the most clean, healthy, protected way. Tell us a little bit about your manufacturing process. I know that you have some experience in that with the pharmaceutical field. So let's touch on that a little bit.
Yeah. I can touch on the supply chain and then onto the specifics of the manufacturing. Our supply chain is quite complicated because, like most companies, will just have one manufacturer that will make the product. So they'll go to a manufacturing company or a chemist who will make a sample of a product and then they'll mass produce the product. With us, we have like maybe 4 or 5 different suppliers that produce different elements of the product. So like the packaging will be from a different supplier, the bottles will be from a different supplier, the formulation will be from one supplier, the scent will be from another supplier. So there's a lot of different elements that are going into making one product, which has a lot more added complexity to manufacturing our products, and also the lead times then tend to be a lot longer, which is kind of what makes a product luxury in a way, because the amount of effort and design that goes into one product is a lot more than your average product. In terms of the manufacturing process, yeah, we work with or we use like fully GMP. GMP is good manufacturing practice. So without getting too boring, it's basically a standard for manufacturing. And if you meet that standard, it means you're compliant with the regulations. So it's not like we're manufacturing these in our kitchen, where there's food and there's contamination and stuff being mixed in that shouldn't be there. There's none of that sort of stuff. Our products are made in a lab in a high standard. Everything is documented, everything is checked, everything is sealed. We have QC tests done by hand, done visually. We run in-process controls, and these are all controls throughout the process of making the product to make sure that what goes in there is correct, in the right volumes, the right concentrations, like all of that sort of stuff. And because our bottles and jars, some of them aren't like standard sizing, a lot of the filling into those bottles and jars are done by hand rather than just done in a machine, which, is a lot cheaper. And so, yeah, it's like an added cost to us, but there's that human element to make sure that it's done correctly. So
Yeah, I like that. And so do they ship for you as well, or do you have a different warehouse?
they ship for us as well. So they store for us and then they ship for us. The company acts as a 3PL. They have a 3PL distribution arm. So we work with them for distributing our products, and then Amazon is, its own distribution for Amazon.
Do you do FBA, Amazon
Yeah,
FBA? So then you have some just like, and then at the Amazon warehouse. That's super cool. Super cool. So yeah, tell us more about, because I think what we talked about before is branding and stuff like that, and tell us about how you came up with the design, the bottles, the sizes. Let's talk a little bit more about the supply chain here.
yeah. Branding itself, I so if you look at branding, one of the things that I wanted to create with this company and brand was that it had to be luxurious. Like to me, it would have to be a product that I would want to buy, and I have really high standards. So for me, it would have to look nice or look cool, or at least I know that's very subjective, but to me, what I deemed as looking cool, it would have to look appealing and it would have to stand out. It would have to be different and unique. And I think with the branding and the design, like all of our products meet those in terms of the criteria. The way I kind of researched that was I looked at other products that I liked, but not in the grooming space. So I looked in food, I looked in homeware, I looked at, I don't know, candles, I looked at just perfumes, I looked at a lot of food products. And so I looked in different industries that were presenting their products in a unique way. And a lot of sort of alcoholic drinks and stuff like that have an interesting design. And I thought, why can't we use some of the inspiration from these different industries and use that in our sort of grooming products, the way it's presented? Because especially like alcoholic beverages, like wines and drinks, um, they're presented like some brands are really unique in the way they present their drinks. and they have to be because it's obviously super competitive. But I just took that same approach. And if you look at luxury brands are always very simple. Their logos are super simple. Look at LV, you look at D&G, Calvin Klein, whatever. They're normally just initials, CKLV, or it's just a name, right? Dior, whatever, CD as the symbol. So we obviously wanted to have that kind of presence where we wanted to look luxurious and we wanted to be luxurious as well. So we needed to keep those same elements. So simplicity is always luxury. So our logo is just two Zs back to back. Very simple. And our branding is simple colors. It's black and white. It's very simple. And
Yeah.
Dior, I think, is quite similar as well. They have white and black quite often in some of their perfumes and stuff. So that's really the inspiration from a branding perspective. And yeah, there's loads of books and stuff you can find on that. But
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about books here because I love books. I love reading, love education, whether it's podcasts or stuff like that. What are some ways that you taught yourself?
a lot of yeah, I would say my answer would be different today. So today, like I would use AI a lot more.
Mm,
When I started, I didn't have ChatGPT, wasn't available. So now I would just use ChatGPT, but I would try and it's all about the prompting. It's like asking the right questions and you will get a great answer. But the way I learned was through a lot of it was just trial and error. A lot of it was just making mistakes. So like
mm,
I've made a ton of mistakes. A lot of the branding and stuff like that was just through me looking at other products that I liked and other brands that I liked, in different niches particularly. And so it was just kind of borrowing and using the inspiration from that and applying it to this industry where it didn't really exist.
mm. Yeah, yeah. What are some, do you read books for educating or do you do podcasts? What
I do both.
what are
At the
some good
moment,
books that you love that would you would suggest that really impacted you?
got some. I'd say the books I read are more about mindset. So a lot of them are
Love it.
like
Yeah.
Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey. Like that's a
Oh,
classic.
have to, must. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. And As a Man Thinketh, I think is the
Yeah.
book name of the book. Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Um, yeah, I'd say Alex Hormozy stuff like
Oh, yeah.
is pretty cool. Like for business, it's very good information there. For podcast, yeah, probably Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I watch
Mm-hmm.
a lot of his stuff. He has a lot of interesting guests on there. And then it kind of depends as well. Like if I if I'm focusing on Amazon, I will look for Amazon related podcasts or books or nowadays ChatGPT or YouTubers, right? So it kind of depends on what I need help with. But yeah, those those are kind of what's on my playlist is always like Diary of a CEO. If I need business advice, I'll ask Alex. uh, and yeah, ChatGPT.
I love that. I love that. Let's talk a little bit about quotes here. I love a good quote, a good mindset. You talked about how a lot of what you read is mindset. I think that's totally agree. A lot of what I read is also mindset. Um, Tell me what is the best advice or best quote that you've heard that's really, something you stick with. It could be one or two or three.
The future belongs to those who prepare for it today.
I love that.
That's
What
a
does that
Malcolm
mean
X
to you?
quote. Uh, that means that you have to plan and prepare for everything you want in the future today. Like it's everything needs to be planned for. Like you can't magically get to where you want to go without doing the preparation, doing the work, planning for it. So yeah, you have to start today. And I think the important part is starting today as well. Like a lot of people will be like, I'll do that thing tomorrow, I'll do it whenever.
Hmm.
But it really needs to there needs to be urgency. And so that's what
Yeah.
that means to me. Yeah.
I like when Alex Hermanzi says a lot that he's like, the best time to have started this was like 2 years ago and right now, you know? Um,
Literally.
yeah, it's so true. It's so true. It's like, okay, like, well, because sometimes you do get caught in analysis paralysis and you think too much and you have to prepare too much and you're afraid to look embarrassing, right? And then sometimes you just got to do it and go through you just got to do it because otherwise it's a year down the road and you wish you would have planted that apple tree because it would have been producing apples by now, you know?
I
Um,
think, yeah, just to start to cut you off, I think one of the big framework shifts that changed the way I work and the way that really helped me in life was just I stopped caring what people think a long
mm,
time ago. Like I stopped giving a shit what people thought about me and how I looked to the outside world. And I think that ties into analysis paralysis with what you're saying. I think you're afraid of what will people think, or if I put this product out there or service and if it's not as good as I want it to be, it's not perfect, what are the negatives from that? But you're just, the longer you're delaying going out there, it means you're delaying getting feedback. And when you get feedback, you can improve, you can make adjustments, you can reiterate. But the longer you stay in paralysis mode, you're never gonna progress.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I had a good mentor of mine tell me the other day because we were talking about um, not being cringy on social, like trying to post on social media,
Mm,
but not trying to
mm.
come across like cringy or like I know what I'm talking about. But he's like, um, I mean, the way he said it is like it's just more cringy not to say anything than to say something, right? Because he's like, you're definitely not getting anywhere. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You're definitely not getting anywhere by doing nothing and being afraid. You might as well. And like what you said, like that's great is don't care what people think. Just do it because then you get the feedback. So then, you hear what people think, don't take it to heart, but say, hey, that was cringy, or something like that. You can be like, okay, thank you. Okay, I will not do that next time. Because that's great. You just got to do it, and get the feedback. Don't care, have confidence in yourself. I think that's great. And I think another good question, which I've been hearing a lot, and I think it's kind of hard because there's a lot of bad advice out there, but it's a good thing to hear of what is the opposite of this mindset. So what's the worst advice you've heard and why? And what do you think otherwise?
Don't sweat the small details. I think that's more of a British uh,
I've heard it.
term or
Yeah.
phrase. Yeah, where they say, "Don't worry about the small details," or "Don't sweat the small stuff." Terrible advice. Like you have to sweat the small. You have to sweat the small stuff. The small stuff is what makes the big stuff great. It's like the difference between being exceptional and being average is the small stuff.
Mm,
It's a percentage game. And if you can do the small stuff really well, it will have like a huge effect on the whole goal that you're trying to achieve in whatever it is. And even in relationships, it's like the small things make a huge impact. They make a huge difference. So when people say that, I'm just like, nah. Whoever's telling you that is whoever came up with that is a lie. That's you know they
yeah.
they yeah tricked everyone with that phrase. It's terrible. And
Yeah.
that's I'd say another one is when they say there's a saying that a leopard doesn't change his spots or a tiger doesn't change his stripes. And I think that is a terrible saying for being stuck in the same mindset. It's like
Mm.
you're implying that people can't change or that the situation can't change with that kind of
And just kind of
thinking.
make do with what you got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas everything is changeable, right? Everything is growth. Everything can be learned. And life is a progress. So you're just
Hmm.
moving up levels.
Yeah. And I know I quote Alex Ramonzi a lot, but I love him so much. Because one of the things that he says a lot is is it a skill, right? So is personality a skill? Is it a skill to have good conversations with somebody? If the answer is yes, then it's trainable. And if it's trainable, that means you can get better at it, right? So a lot of times people will be like, wow, I'm really shy. I'm really nervous. And you're putting those labels on yourself, right? Or I'm not a getter doner. I procrastinate. You're putting those labels on yourself. Is being organized a skill? Yes. Can you train it? If it's a skill, you can train it and you can get better at it. And I just love that so much. And you're right, just because you're right now a tiger with stripes doesn't mean that you can't train yourself to do something better differently. I know it's kind of hard to like different explain that with the tiger stripes, but Chinese proverbs.
Yeah, I think that's a limiting belief, right? It's like if you believe that you can't change, then you never will.
Yeah, yeah. Psycho Cybernetics was such a great book. I don't know if you read that one, but it so many. I mean, it's pretty much all self-help books. Is when you tell yourself something, you have pretty much it would be against the laws of physics for you to be something else. So if a
Hmm.
kid, their teacher's telling them, "Hey, you're really bad at math. Like you're kind of pretty much dumb at math." It would be against the laws of the universe for him to actually get a good math grade in there. So a lot of the time, those kids end up just being bad at math, and they're just bad, you know.
Because they've been
And that's the
told it.
same thing with
Yeah.
business and life. Yeah, mindset, man. Mindset is so powerful. The placebo effect, so powerful. We do that in a lot of the brands that we work with. It's placebo. It's words that you're giving them to feel about themselves is way huger. Like the mindset, it's all emotional. In negotiation, business, everything is all emotional. If it was logical, it would be a totally different game. But as you agree, probably it's an emotional game. Business is an emotional game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to keep well, it's both, I think, and
For
it's
sure,
hard to,
obviously, you got to have numbers, but
yeah, it's hard to keep the emotions well out, or you need the correct emotion for the right situation, I think.
I agree. I agree. Zahib, tell us about how we can get in contact with you. We want to hear more about you. Give us some plugs.
So Zousz.com is where you can find our brand. Me specifically, uh, find me on Instagram. It's just my name, Zohaib.Ahmad. Also, we have our Zousz Instagram, so Zousz_official, and the same with TikTok, Zousz_official for our TikTok as well. And I'm on LinkedIn. Just type my name and you'll find me or our brand.
Zahib on LinkedIn. If you guys give Zahib a follow on LinkedIn and everything else and get connected, this is a great opportunity. The different people that come on here, great opportunity to get connections, to network. This is educational. So if you have something that you're trying to do, kind of like Zahib is, then he would be the perfect person to come and talk to get some advice, to just network with. So that's where it's at, is networking. But yeah, pleasure. This is John Klein, brand with Zahib with Zousz, and have a blessed one, guys.